What's up, YouTube? Here we go again. Another rankings. This time, it's my 2020 NFL Draft top 20 linebackers. Before we get started, if you're not a subscriber, go and hit the subscribe button. Give me a like. Leave a comment. Let me know how things are going. Also, I want to note that, wow, what has gone on this week with all the signings and trades and whatnot. DeAndre Hopkins leaving the Texans for basically nothing. Cardinals getting rid of a ridiculous contract with David Johnson. Rumors of Brady going to Tampa Bay. Bridgewater going to Carolina. Diggs going to Buffalo for a plethora of picks. Wow. But that will all be seen in my upcoming mock draft early next week, because there will be massive changes. So, let's go ahead and get started today here with my linebackers. And just for you guys that do not know, that is the eyes of Michael Singletary, the great middle linebacker. So at 25, I have Marcel Spears, Iowa State. He's diverse in the run and the pass, but he's a bit small, could even play safety. Special teamer written all over him. We got Kendra Jones out of Maryland. He's also pretty fast, great at covering the tight end. He's pure special teamers for now. He ups his football IQ. He could change. I have them both going as undrafted free agents. At 23, Dontavius Jackson, FSU, highly recruited to the team. His play never really truly molded into that player they expected. It more faded than anything. He had a nice pop in his first year on the field. But he's definitely worth a look because he does have some talent. Casey Toohill, Stanford. Huge at the linebacker position at 6'4", 246 pounds. Could possibly even play the edge in the 4-3. The thing about him, though, is his football IQ. He's very smart. I mean, he went to Stanford, so. But the bad thing about it, with his size, he's pretty slow for it. So he can probably help out at special teams in the beginning. But he is definitely worth the look in the 7th round. At 21, Kaiva Tizino. Sorry if I butchered the name. I'm sure I did. San Diego State. Best defensive player for the Aztecs this past year. Great run stopper in the middle linebacker position. He just needs more versatility. Another guy that's worth a late look. Joe Bacci is 20th in my board here at Michigan State. Typical Big Ten player. Purely a middle linebacker, though, at this point. He's great at the run defense. Not a 3-down player because he's not fast enough. But he'll probably get looks for special teams as well. Michael Divinity of the national champions LSU. The thing about him is he's very diverse. He can be an outside linebacker, edge, 3-4, 4-3. He just needs to get stronger. But him being so versatile, he could surprise many. Getting drafted in the 7th round can end up being a pretty good gem. Dijon Harris, Arkansas. Do-it-all type linebacker, middle linebacker, outside linebacker. He's great at defending the tight end with his speed. And the thing is, he's just inconsistent. So being a do-it-all and being inconsistent is not a good match. Sage Lewis, FIU. A huge sleeper in my eyes. Good tackler. He just needs work on his IQ. But I think he's going to end up being a phenomenal special teams captain one day. Another huge sleeper in my mind, although he shouldn't be because he went to a Big Ten school. Granted, it is Illinois. Del Harding. Illinois' MVP. He led the Big Ten with tackles at 153. 14 tackles for losses. Solid middle linebacker. Just going to help you in the run support. He's not going to be much in the pass game. He just needs more speed, but he could be a heck of a find in the 7th round. At 15, we have Marcus Bailey, another Big Ten player out of Purdue. He's the best blitzer of the class. 4-year starter. Excellent tackling form, but average tackling radius. And that's what drops into the 6th round. So he's not the quickest either, but he's definitely worthy of a 6th-round pick. Another player from the national championship team, LSU, Jacob Phillips, my 14th ranked linebacker. He's got amazing size for the middle linebacker position. Great run defender. Took over for Devin White. He's a short tackler. He's not a 3-down linebacker though, so obvious passing plays, he will be taken off the field. So if he works on that, he could end up being a big-time sleeper as well. Shaquille Quarterman. Last year, I had him as a possible late 1st-round, early 2nd-round pick. And who's to say he wouldn't have been? But wow. Even though he had an amazing senior year, just the talent of this draft and the question marks that surrounded him dropped him to possibly a 6th-round pick. He could still go in the 3rd, 4th round. But he is a 3-time All-ACC. He's only going to give you middle linebacker play because he's not that good on the outside. He's got quick feet. He's an amazing blitzer. He just takes too many risks. He's not the surest tackler. Cameron Brown, he's a late riser to me at Penn State. Outside linebacker, loved by teammates with his great work ethic. He's an overachiever. He's got the good stats, over 200 tackles for his years at Penn State. He just needs to get bigger, but he can be a big surprise. Have to earn his stripes, I think, on special teams and garbage time, but worthy of a 5th-round pick. David Woodard, Utah State. Just not enough game tape on him. He's got great patience and instinctiveness that when he is playing his middle linebacker position, and great size. He just lacks the speed as well. He did get injured last year, but there's something about him that's I'm seeing in a lot of rankings that's having him as a 3rd, 4th, 5th-round pick. So I have him here as a late 4th-round pick, and he may surprise many, or he could be a complete bust. Willie Gay, Mississippi State. He can play the inside linebacker because he's got great size and instincts and tape. It shows it. The biggest thing with him is going to be his red flags off the field. That's going to drop him from possibly anywhere between 3rd and 4th round to not even being drafted. But the talent is there, and if anybody's worthy to give him a chance and he turns his life around, he could be a phenomenal player. Evan Weaver looks like Luke Kuechly, gets a lot of tackles like Luke Kuechly, but he doesn't have the instinctiveness. And I'm not comparing him at all to Luke Kuechly because he was an amazing player, and we're going to miss him as he retires this past year. But Evan Weaver was a Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. He is the single-season tackle record holder for Cal at 106.7 this past year. He's best in run support, a pure inside linebacker. He just needs to work on his pass defense. But he may move up in the draft boards and end up being a 2nd, 3rd round pick. I think he's very talented enough, but I also see him slipping as well due to the lack of talent. I would love to see 10 rounds this year, and I feel like if we had 10 rounds in the draft this year, there'd be 10 rounds worthy of players, believe it or not. Next up, we have Logan Wilson out of Wyoming. Strictly an outside linebacker guy. He's not going to be in the middle. He's just not big enough. But he had a great Senior Bowl, and he looked like he belonged playing amongst everybody there. He just needs to be more physical, but he's pretty rangy. Could even play in a pinch as a deep safety. But he's all over the field. I see him being a very good piece to somebody's defense. Jordan Brooks, Texas Tech. Led the Raiders in tackles 3 out of 4 years he was there as a true middle linebacker. He had 20 tackles for loss this past year. But he's not much helping in the pass defense, so he's not going to be a 3-down back. That's why he's going to be a 4th-round grade to me. But the talent is definitely there, and I'm interested to see him get on an NFL field and see what he can do. Next up is one of my favorite players in this draft, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Appalachian State. I've been talking about him to friends for the past couple years. He's a Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Year. He's a forceful tackler for his small size. He's only 6'2", 215. He's not going to be a middle linebacker. He's more of an outside linebacker type. Maybe even play safety in the NFL. But he's going to put up numbers for sure. He gets to where he needs to go. And he's going to be a great find for somebody in this year's NFL draft. Keep an eye out for this kid. As I said, he's been in the draft chatter for the past 2 years because he could have easily came out last year. So I wouldn't sleep on him. Next up, we got Malik Harrison, Ohio State. Very versatile, being able to play the outside or inside linebacker. He's very physical run defender. He's got great speed for his prototypical size. He just needs to put it all together, get some more IQ points there, and he can end up being a great stud linebacker. I actually could see him being drafted in the second round. It was tough between him and Troy Dye. But I gave Troy Dye the nod here at 4 due to his toughness at his size, his sideline-to-sideline speed. He's rangy. He's a pure outside linebacker, though. He did have a so-so senior year. He just needs to tackle better. But Troy Dye I think he's somebody he can just be all over the field for somebody. He can even play deep safety in a pinch on Hail Mary downs. He's got good hands. Troy Dye is a special player, and I can see him being drafted late in the second round. Kenneth Murray, Oklahoma, 3-year starter. Sure, amazing tackler. Looks the part with size, length, and speed. Plays inside, outside, whatever you need him to do. He's still raw, amazingly, though, after all this. And I had him going as high to the Ravens in the first round, but he will not get past the middle of the second round for sure. Somebody's going to get a great talent in him, and you plug him in anywhere in that linebacker field, and he will give you amazing play. Next up, number 2. The last of my national champion linebackers, and the most unknown until the championship game, to be honest with you, and also the fastest, amazing riser in Patrick Queen. He's built like a big safety, though. That's the only knock on him, but besides that, he was the defensive MVP for the championship game. He's got great quickness and recognition of what's to come. He anticipates. Great read on what the offense is trying to do. And I see him being an all-pro for years to come. And actually, as I have it right now, I have him, and this can change before I do put out my mock draft, but I see him actually going to the Ravens in the first round. No later than the championship Chiefs at 32. So he's definitely a first-round pick. And he is going to be a stud for years to come. And then next up, we have Isaiah Simmons, a Swiss Army knife type player. What is he? An outside linebacker, inside linebacker, a safety, and edge. He's 6'4", 230. He ran a sub 4.5 in the 40. His pass defense is amazing. He's being compared to a Derwin James, but bigger and stronger. He's still learning the linebacker position, so it's amazing that he's ranked as the number 1 linebacker available. Just put him on the field and just let him do what he does. He's the type of player that a team is just going to mold their defensive schemes around him. Whatever you want him to do, he'll do it. I've seen so much tape and so much highlights of this kid. It's like, wait a minute, that was him again? Oh, wait, that was him again? Wait, well, he should have been here. No, wow, he's all over the field. That's how I felt. I could not believe it with this guy. And that's great. And I would, now I'll continue to say this. And obviously, I'm an avid Giants fan. I would love to see the Giants take him at 4, but he could go to the Lions at 3. But after his first couple of days of free agency, who knows what's going to happen and what the draft order is going to look like come the day of the draft, which we still don't know when or truly is going to be the draft, but thank God there still is going to be one, just with no fans. But Isaiah Simmons, my number one overall ranked linebacker. He'd probably be my number one overall ranked safety. He'd be may even be my third overall edge rusher if he was there. Maybe even number 2 behind Chase Young. So whoever ends up drafting this kid is going to get a very humble, productive, amazing player, all pro for years to come. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you very much. I'm trying to get my secondary rankings up this week. Hopefully I'll have the safeties out by tomorrow, Thursday at the latest, and then cornerbacks before the weekend, because I do want to get my mock draft up by Monday. It's going to be 2 rounds. I'm also trying to get my NBA draft ranking players rankings up this weekend as well. So we'll see, but I truly appreciate all that do watch, and if you are, please subscribe and like, leave comments. This is Luke Kuechly, who just recently retired, pictured here. Phenomenal player for the Panthers, sure Hall of Famer. And then on a serious note, I hope everybody's doing well. Stay protected. Do what you got to do to protect yourself and your family. And God bless everyone.